everybody, and welcome to Zephyr's Tiny House channel.
Hello.
So, driving down here, it's about an hour drive for us every day to the work site, and believe it or not, being in a confined space with your loved one for that long a time tends to bring on some deep conversation.
Which you better be ready for.
Yeah. And something that we were talking about today was we've been talking a lot about lately is it's a lot of emotional, how do I put it, growth. Growth that's happening even in just putting down something as simple as the subfloor, and we haven't even gotten the walls or the roof yet, and already a lot's come up. And all of it really is just challenging, I think, what I would call life patterns and life mentalities that you use to get through the everyday, and it's just kind of how you're used to functioning. And one of the things that came up was just having a good attitude and approaching this project with joy and excitement instead of like frustration and suspicion. And I was talking to you earlier today about how I've got this wonderful book that incorporates mind, body, spirit, and one of those things is emotions. And one of the affirmations it tells you in order to welcome a good, healthy emotion into your life is that every morning when you put your feet on the floor, you say to yourself, today is going to be a wondrous or wonderful and prosperous day. And it's like, what a lovely notion. And what I had been finding when I put my feet on the floor and said that, the thing that surprised me was how much I had a hard time really saying it with genuineness. And I thought about that, and it occurred to me that it's actually because that's not the mode I'm accustomed to functioning in. It's like I would like to function that way, but that's not how I actually function. I'm more accustomed to functioning with like criticism and like what's the challenge, what's the obstacle. It felt kind of wrong and unnatural to say it because my body and the way that I've moved through this world is so used to and is comfortable with operating in that more negative prospect. And I was just talking to you about how it's like, in order to get from point A, which is like more of a frustration, more resistance point of operating, to that more like loose, and not loose, but like that more like open and more open way of functioning, it's like, what do? It's like, how do you get from point A to point B? And in that regard, that is probably one of the few instances where I think it's appropriate to fake it till you make it. It's like, in order to get your body out of the habit of functioning one way and into the next, it's like, you just kind of got to play pretend for a little while, I think. And just talking about that and how it's like, eventually that playing pretend will become real. Eventually that, like, today's going to be a wondrous and prosperous day is going to be the reality. And I'm believing and I'm hoping that in doing this tiny house project, it might be more challenging, but it'll expedite getting from that like more negative mindset to the more open and positive one. And just kind of in life in general, I think if there's a mentality that you want to be in, but you're not, and you're not, and if you're really honest with yourself and you're like, I'm just not there, this doesn't feel right to me, I'm actually more comfortable functioning how I've always functioned. Yeah, you just kind of gotta, I think you just gotta, I don't know, kind of gotta do a little bit of bullshitting for yourself in a good way. It's like the one time that bullshitting's okay, I think.
And also kind of just a reprogramming mindset,
Yeah, that's the word you used. Yeah.
It's one of those things where you can, your body's been working against you for as long as it's been programmed to work against you. And so the only way to change that programming is to just not listen to it. And you know, we both struggle with different things. I tend to get overwhelmed, and for me, sometimes I don't have to do the affirmations as much in the morning, but sometimes at the end of the day, I just have to blow off some steam somehow. And more recently, that's been in the form of singing too loudly, being too loud, dancing stupidly, or you know,
Yeah.
working out is also a good productive way to do that.
Yeah, even after these long ass work days, it's like it's like, how could you possibly exercise? It's like, I have to for my own mental stability. Like, I have to. So.
So,
Yeah.
and it's like, I think it's dangerous to apply the fake it till you make it to everything in life, because I think as far as like, you know, when it comes to like businesses and things like that, I feel like you need to be as authentic as you are with where you are in the game, but be confident in your skills as long as you have them.
Yeah.
Because if you fake how good you are in your business, well then that leads to that issue of like over promising and under delivering, which is just not going to work out in the long run. So
Yeah.
be careful with that. You know, it's just I think a lot of phrases contradict each other, but I just think they're just in the wrong context most of the time. So
Yeah. But as far as reprogramming your brain and trying to get to a place where you're operating from a more open, more prosperous standpoint, I think that fake it till you make it's almost a necessary tool. And I really think that the more you do it, the more it won't become necessary. But yeah, that was what we talked about on our car ride down, was how this tiny house project has been challenging us emotionally, and it's almost like we signed up for a bit of a boot camp, as much a physical one as much as an emotional one. And so far we're seeing it's been tough, but we're seeing like a lot of really cool growth, and you know, flexing our I guess our emotional mental muscles, and getting stronger and getting better, and learning just how to be a better person through it. So there'll probably be more of these videos, because I have no doubt that more resistance will rear its head as we move along. And so
me either. I have no doubt.
So yeah, we'll keep you posted on all of our progress on the house and on ourselves. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found some of this useful, and yeah, cool little exercise maybe you can start doing that I know that we've started doing, which is every morning you put your feet on the floor. You just say to yourself, today is going to be a wondrous and prosperous day. And that's how you start your morning.
And work out at night.
And work out at night, yeah.
It's individualized. Just like tiny homes.
Just like tiny homes. Alright guys, thanks for watching.